Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. In today's video we are going to be doing a banner review for the brand new BALDR, who is of course the brand new Ragnarok character, which is sort of weird. They released two in a row. We had Thor, lost character, and this character of course is BALDR. So firstly, he is not a seasonal, meaning he will be put in the SR tickets when he is gone, which is a good sign. It means that he won't be as exclusive as your normal character. And let's go over the passives, the ultimate, what he does, and then I'll go over a few positives, minuses, his banner, and a few other things that I want to go over. Firstly, at the start of battle, apply Swords of Light and Reflection Halo 2-star skill to the unit. And what this basically means, this is passive. So this bit here, it applies a level 2 counter at the start of the battle. What this means is, doesn't matter if you go first, doesn't matter if you go second, that counter is applying. Which is very good, because it means that if you go second, for example, Ragnarok does very well, not Ragnarok, just Unknowns in general do quite well going second. He just immediately applies a counter. And plus, once again, you also then have another counter skill, you can play another counter skill. Okay, and when, what's it? So it plays the skill to the unit. When every time the unit damages the enemy, increase specific allies' basic stats by 5% up to 30%. Basically, every time his counter goes off, he increases all Unknown and Ragnarok's basic stats by 5% up to 30%. And because it's Unknowns and Ragnarok's, it's kind of like, not a replacement for Nanashi, but I would say he could be on the way there, maybe. Unfortunately, he does have to be up front, so it does immediately once again take up another slot from the team, which is sort of, Catastrophe is probably the most contested team for who's up front, because of course you've got Hel, you've got Sab, you've got Thor, you know, you've got Vittoria, you know, all these good DPSs or sub DPSs, and they're all fighting for that, I would say, that third position, because you want Sab. Sab's a very good taunt character. She can put out quite a bit of damage. Her debuff's kind of useful. You've of course got Thor, main DPS on the team. And now everyone's fighting for that third slot, because the fourth slot is Nanashi, so everyone's just fighting for that third slot. Also, very specific ally participating in battle will increase units' defense-related stats by 10%. So, 3 allies, 30% defense-related stats. 4 allies, 40% defense-related stats. And when the unit is assuming a stance, increase specific allies' defense-related stats by 30%. So, whenever he has that stance up, he immediately gives everyone on your team a 30% defense-related stats. Which, by the way, is absurd. It would be like having LR Glocks up front on your team. 30% defense related stats. Like that. And of course, because it applies turn 1 before the battle's even started, you can't be turn 1'd. Because, let's just say you have Sab, right? Sab's she's got her own damage reduction, because you're probably running Thor with Sab. She's got her own taunt. Now she's also got 30% defense related stats. Plus she's also got Nanashi's basic stats. Plus every time they attack Sab, BALDR's just going to counter and give her extra 5% basic stats, which means she's going to tank even better than the next turn, and then the next turn, and then the next turn, and then you've got an even scarier team than what it should be. And that's not it. When the stance gets removed from the unit, he heals 30% of his max HP. Not remaining HP, max HP, which, let's just say, he's an unknown, right? Probably in geared close to 800k, maybe, possibly. You're healing 30% of that, 240,000 health. Bear in mind, you can also do that turn 1. Bear in mind, he also works in like everywhere in the game, so you've got like here Arena, Demonic Beasts. Even I'm not sure how good he's going to be for the new bird, but he works there. But yeah, and then his Swords of Light buff. Every time a specific ally takes damage from an enemy's skill, increase the unit's critical damage by 40% up to 240%. By the way, 240% crit damage boost is equivalent to adding nearly one of the highest base crit damage people in the game, their base, when they're not leveled up, no awakening, on top of him. And let's actually just have a look at his stats. We're on JP, we can have a look. So, I clicked on SR House, that's not him. Now I've got to find the thing of actually finding him. Oh, goodness sake. There he is. With a base crit damage of 85, which is actually kind of horrible. It's a 240% boost, I would say puts him probably on par with people like Melee. Demon King Melee probably puts him on par with him when like you fully awakened him, you got all outfits, you know, you've got him good gear, because he is full defense based. That's the thing. That's what's even more broken. He boosts his own defense by 10% per unknown or Ragnarok, so let's say 30%. That's a 30% attack boost. He has a stance up, another 30% attack boost. It's absurd, of course, because he's defense based as well. And we'll get into his actual skills now as well. We'll go into this. So that's it for his passive. His passive is pretty busted. So his first skill is a deplete old gauge, which is based off his defense. All his skills are based off his defense. Good damage. He also has the good deplete old gauge, which means at level 2 it depletes 2 old gauge, 3 at 3 old gauge, which is kind of rare to see nowadays. Even though, you know, new characters and stuff are out. I think Gotha, UR-based Gotha, was the last one to have a skill like this. But at one point it was literally only Terry that had a skill like this. But yeah, it's kind of good. And I've got the counters. So it's level 1, which is it's Sever. So it's always going to crit. That's the absurd thing. You know, he boosts his own crit damage by 240%. He's also got a 7, which means his crit chance base is like 240%. Which is basically means he's going to crit everything. Level 2, once again, only 1 turn, but 200% this time. That is what he starts with. He starts with that counter at the start of every battle. Guaranteed. And then, of course, then at level 3 is 2 turns, and is also 7, but it's 300%. And then, of course, you have his ultimate. So his ultimate, this is where he sort of becomes kind of broken. So his ultimate is, this is at 1/6, increase defense-related stats by 30% for 2 turns, and does 300% of attack based on defense. This is to all enemies. Plus, it's also Flood, which can give him another 80% damage increase. Bear in mind, at 6/6, this is an 80% defense-related stat boost, you know, plus, you know, I say 30% from a stance, 30% from allies, 140%. Let's say you've then got, of course, his own basic stat boost. You've then got Nanashi's defense stat boost, Nanashi's own basic stat boost. You're looking at 200% defense boost at 6/6, which is absurd, and about 150% for 1/6, which is still absurd. Also, his ultimate's sick. It's a really cool ultimate. I do like it. And now we'll go on to his banner, and then a few little things I've noticed with his banner, which is sort of weird. They haven't really ever done, or they have done it, but not like this. So, as we all know, a collaboration is coming soon, alright? And a collaboration should come out on JP within the next 3 weeks. His banner lasts for 3 weeks. Which, what does that mean? It enables people to look at the collab, decide whether they want to summon or not, and then if they don't want to summon on the collab, they can summon on BALDR, which I think is a very... So it's a very benevolent thing to do for a Netmarble, to be honest. It's kind of weird for them to do that, because, you know, 3 weeks, unless they're not going to have another 242, like a free banner or a 242 in between the collab and now, then it's fair enough. Because having only, let's just say, 1 banner in the game, for example, Thor does last all the way till the collab, we do know that. So, you know, if it was going to be her banner there, BALDR was so disappeared, it would be kind of weird. But the only good thing about it is that it means people on global, you have quite a long time to have a look at, you know, what the collab is, if you like it or not, and then you can decide if you want to summon. Because it is, I always say, it's a 600 diamond ban. He's about 600 diamonds worth. The banner itself is actually, it's okay. I'll say it's definitely a lot of good, but there's also a lot of bad. Pardon me. Sorry. And then, of course, we've got Gelder, who this is Gelder's first time releasing, so if you don't have Gelder, of course, she's going to be insane. New Year's King is actually quite good, especially for Sins. Chaos Mode, just general farming with Sins, he's probably one of the best ones you can get. Christmas Roxy is quite good for humans. Of course, humans now have Percival, which is like a million times better than her, but it's still quite good. You've got the Goddess support, you've got then just the general basic stat booster. She's only really good in Chaos Mode. She's, once again, just a B-Tech version of the Green one, and only really good in Chaos Mode. Yeah, no. And of course, you've got LR Liz, and then we've got BALDR as well. Yeah, this Hawk, not even worth talking about. Horrible. Rates, once again, 0.5, so... It should take you quite a few summons to get him, unfortunately. Preferably you get him in your first multi. That is kind of what you want. Of course, if you don't get him in first multi, there's others. You can keep summoning if you want. Of course, my recommendation would be wait and see what the collab is. Because, yes, you know, it's 3 weeks' time, it's quite a while. You know, you may have to put up with him a lot in PvP. But if you don't really care about PvP, it's not too big of a problem for you. Just wait. He is quite good in Demon King, from what I've seen. Of course, he might also be good. Oh, it's not even going to be him anyway. It's not Liz, for goodness sake. But yeah, just wait. It ain't worth spending your diamonds yet. Just wait, see what the collab is. If the collab's bad, let's say it's a Stranger Things rerun, the character's quite bad, then yeah, just skip it, because, or it's up to you if you want to skip it. You know, if you like Stranger Things, you can summon, but I would say wait and see what the collab is first, because collabs are a lot more exclusive than a character that's going to be put in the SR tickets. Because he's not a seasonal, it means he will return a lot more than your average character. For example, like Gelda, who's a seasonal, right? She doesn't return. This is the first time she's ever returned. But you know, you've got Tyr, and, you know, characters like that who weren't seasonals and they return pretty frequently, which is kind of what you want to wait for. Overall, he's pretty good. Once again, he does want full defense because he is a full defense-based character. He's very powerful, but I think his only problems will be because he's defense-based. Damage lower will really, really screw him over. You know, you've got characters like Yuri, who, once again, for humans is once again a very good team against like teams that have good damage reduction, because humans just munch them. Sorry, that have high defense. Humans will just munch them. Humans don't care about defense because they're mainly Arthur's HP based. Escanor once again does more damage. The more basic stats. Sorry, the more HP you have, he does more damage. Additional HP, I think it is. But once again, if they have Yuri, who has, once again, a level 1 stance removal, increases basic stats, increases humans' critical resistance stats, so critical defense and critical resistance, as well as having 30% damage lower, and has the ability to seal AoE, which really isn't that important, I guess, reversing Sap, really. Yeah, BALDR might be in a little bit of a problem, but that's the only real threat, and Yuri is a very, very exclusive character. She released at the start of this year. She was a collaboration character. The collaboration, I think, was only out for 2 or 3 weeks. It wasn't out for like the 4-week period, which is what collabs used to be out for back in the day. Now they're only normally out for about 2, possibly 3 weeks at a push. But anyway, thank you for watching. If you want to summon, go for it. I would say wait until the collab comes up anyway. Goodbye.